Jimin breaks down in Jungkook's arms, the shocking reenactment of a past incident in the US, what happened at LAX, Los Angeles, CA, July 12, 2025. The tension was unbearable, the silence deafening. And then, in a moment that shocked the entire terminal, Park Jimin, global icon, performer and member of BTS, collapsed into the arms of Jungkook, sobbing uncontrollably. The event, captured by hundreds of phones, marked a harrowing return to a memory that armies had long tried to forget. Why did it happen again, and what does this mean for BTS? Jungkook stood frozen at the arrival gate of Los Angeles International Airport. Dressed head to toe in a black hoodie, mask, and dark sunglasses, the youngest member of BTS was nearly unrecognizable to the untrained eye. But there was no mistaking the energy in the terminal. Something monumental was unfolding. He lowered his mask, gave a deep, solemn bow to fans and media, then raised his phone and displayed a message that sent a wave of shivers across the crowd. "We've waited long enough. Now is the time." Moments later, Jimin appeared behind him, his expression already shadowed by visible distress. As he approached Jungkook, his composure faltered. His eyes welled with tears, unlike anything the public had seen since that fateful moment during the 2018 US tour, when an emotional breakdown on stage forced a concert delay. But this wasn't a performance. This was raw humanity, breaking through layers of silence, contracts, and expectations. And then it happened. In full view of hundreds of stunned fans and media, Jimin fell into Jungkook's embrace. His sobs were loud, unfiltered, and haunting. No statement, no announcement, no choreography, just a man unraveling under the weight of a secret too heavy to carry alone. The images spread across the internet in seconds. The silence was broken, and the world demanded answers. What brought Jimin to this point? Was it the pressure of a secret comeback? Was it the ghost of a previous breakdown returning to haunt him at the exact same location? Or was it something more? Something personal? Over the past months, whispers of a clandestine BTS reunion had swirled across fan forums, music industry circles, and entertainment tabloids. But nothing prepared anyone for the intensity of what unfolded at LAX. According to insider sources close to HYB, who declined to be named, Jimin and Jungkook's sudden arrival in the US was not a mere vacation or solo endeavor. Instead, it was the beginning of what is now being described as a highly calculated, emotionally charged global reactivation of BTS. The message Jungkook showed to the cameras, "We've waited long enough. Now is the time," was not spontaneous. It had reportedly been written weeks prior, waiting for the exact moment to be revealed. But no one, not even the most prepared security or production staff, expected what would follow next. Jimin's very public emotional breakdown. That singular moment mirrored the 2018 backstage collapse Jimin experienced during the Love Yourself tour, also in the US, an incident that had never been fully addressed in public statements. This time, however, it was impossible to hide. The cry, the embrace, the raw intensity, it all unfolded in real time. There was no turning away. An internal source with knowledge of the artist's itinerary revealed to our team that Jimin and Jungkook had flown in from Seoul under private arrangements, specifically avoiding mainstream travel alerts to maintain secrecy. Yet, despite their efforts, word of their arrival spread fast, with fans amassing in the terminal hours before touchdown. Shortly after the breakdown, a fan-recorded clip surfaced, showing Jungkook holding a handwritten sign that read, "For the army who never left, this is for you." The message, although brief, has since sparked a frenzy of analysis, speculation, and emotional outpour from armies globally. But it was the image of Jimin's tear-streaked face pressed against Jungkook's shoulder that truly shook the fandom. What makes this even more staggering is the absence of the other 5 members. Why were only Jungkook and Jimin present? Is this a staggered rollout? Or is something deeper unfolding behind the scenes? In a brief interaction with reporters at the terminal, Jimin managed only one sentence before being whisked away by security. "You'll understand everything soon. We couldn't wait any longer." This cryptic statement has since fueled waves of speculation. Was there an internal disagreement about timing? Was this a break from HYB's planned rollout? Or was this the beginning of something they couldn't suppress any longer? According to logistics data obtained by fans and circulated through private communities, large shipments of stage equipment bearing the label JKJM Tour Preload Unit 1 had already arrived at storage facilities near Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The equipment reportedly includes LED rigging systems, audio consoles, and custom stage platforms, a clear indication that preparations for a large-scale performance are already underway. Meanwhile, unreleased backstage footage from a production rehearsal in New Jersey, leaked via an anonymous crew member, shows Jimin rehearsing a stripped-down ballad version of Spring Day with Jungkook playing acoustic guitar. The atmosphere in the video is intimate and somber, with both artists dressed casually, no backup dancers, no elaborate production, only emotion and pain. It's hard not to draw parallels between that performance and the emotional wait scene at LAX. Jimin's tears, then and now, seem rooted in something more than stage anxiety. They hint at a burden carried quietly for too long. Psychologists specializing in entertainment trauma suggest that the pressure of global idolhood, compounded by BTS's historic hiatus and the responsibility to carry the group's legacy, may have culminated in this breaking point. Dr. Seo Jin-kyu, a researcher at the Korean Institute for Cultural Mental Health, commented, "This wasn't a performance. This was a psychological release." Artists like Jimin live under an enormous weight of expectation. Moments like these are not outbursts, they're revelations. Revelations that the public may not have been prepared to witness. But witness they did, even as fans flooded social media with concern, tributes, and messages of love. Industry analysts are now viewing the incident as a strategic inflection point in BTS's reassembly. According to multiple sources, the current phase represents Phase 1 of a three-part reintroduction campaign designed to reawaken emotional ties with their global audience before official announcements are made. And the signs are everywhere. A few days prior, BTS's Weverse channel uploaded a stark black and white photo of two silhouettes standing on an empty stage, the caption simply reading, "They're coming." That post, largely overlooked at the time, is now being dissected with renewed urgency. It's not just fans who are reacting. Major media outlets, including Rolling Stone, Variety, and Billboard, have all launched special BTS coverage desks in response to the unfolding situation. The Entertainment Stock Index in South Korea showed a noticeable uptick in HYB-related activity within hours of the incident. Wall Street analysts are beginning to track BTS-related sentiment as a legitimate market indicator, but perhaps the most chilling element of all is this. Every action, every word, every tear appears to have been planned, not scripted, but anticipated, because BTS, more than any other group, understands the language of emotion. And emotion, in its purest, unscripted form, is the most powerful form of communication. The fans are not just watching a comeback. They're witnessing an emotional architecture being rebuilt before their eyes, brick by tearful brick. The next question now looms. Who's next? If Jungkook and Jimin have initiated the first public phase, where are the other members? Seokjin Jin recently concluded his military service and has remained notably silent. Namjoon RM hinted in a live stream weeks ago that something beautiful is being prepared. Taeyoung V has been spotted in New York, reportedly entering a high-end recording studio under a pseudonym. Yoongi Suga and Hoseok J-Hope remain out of the public eye, fueling even more speculation. If the rumors are true, then the next few weeks may mark the most historic moment in BTS's timeline since their debut. Fans around the world are holding their breath, not for the charts, not for awards, but for the return of a feeling they've missed for too long: unity. And in the middle of this emotional maelstrom stands Jimin, a man who broke down not because he failed, but because he finally allowed himself to feel, fully, painfully, and truthfully. A man who, in the most vulnerable moment of his public life, reminded the world that even legends need time to heal. Now, all eyes turn to New York. The stage is being set. The silence has been shattered, and the most emotionally significant comeback in K-pop history has just begun. Whether deliberate or not, Jimin's breakdown has reignited a powerful connection between BTS and their global audience, one built not just on music, but on trust, vulnerability, and shared history. As fans await the next revelation, one truth stands firm. This was not just a moment, it was a message. A message that the time apart is nearing its end, that the wounds of silence are being replaced by voices once again rising in harmony, and that BTS, in all its emotional complexity, is ready to return, not as individuals, but as a united force. Whatever comes next, it has already begun, with tears, with courage, and with the embrace that shook the world. Now, the world watches with bated breath. The countdown has unofficially begun, not with press releases, but with raw emotion and undeniable presence. The unfolding narrative surrounding Jimin's public emotional breakdown at Los Angeles International Airport has undeniably captivated global audiences. However, beyond the viral footage and emotionally charged headlines lies a deeper question, one that demands rigorous scrutiny. Is this event a genuine expression of emotional vulnerability, or a meticulously orchestrated maneuver designed to manipulate public sentiment and re-establish media dominance? The answer is far from simple. On one hand, the tears, the body language, and the overwhelming atmosphere all suggest an authentic emotional release. But should we, accept this portrayal at face value? In an industry where every second is documented and where emotional capital is often monetized, we must confront the uncomfortable possibility that this moment, however moving, may have been anticipated if not engineered. Do we believe this was an unplanned collapse or a calculated trigger for global engagement? Moreover, the sources feeding this narrative, TikTok snippets, speculative YouTube commentaries, loosely translated tweets, and unnamed insiders, are not verified. They form a mosaic of impressions, not a foundation of facts. Can such a constellation of unreliable data provide a basis for public truth? And yet, the emotional impact is undeniable. Does that emotional resonance legitimize the event's authenticity? Or does it expose our vulnerability as consumers of spectacle, prone to believing what moves us most? It is imperative that we, as informed global audiences, reject passive consumption and adopt a posture of critical engagement. What if this entire scenario is a scripted reenactment, meant to evoke past traumas and reignite dormant loyalty? What if the message, "We've waited long enough," was not a call to unity, but a marketing device designed to provoke virality? We must ask, who benefits from this spectacle? Until verifiable evidence is produced, we must treat every detail as provisional, every statement as potentially performative. In this era of weaponized emotion and algorithm-driven attention, emotional authenticity can no longer be assumed. It must be interrogated. So, we leave you with this. Do you believe what you saw? Or have you been led to believe it? Let that question guide every thought you have from here onward.